Welcome to the Purple Political Breakdown. I am streaming right now, so this is a video from that stream. And today I'm going to be reacting to assumptions about black men. Why? Because I'm genuinely curious. Do I follow under these? I'm a unique type of black man, man. Let's see. Let's see if I get my black card revoked.
What? Would you say you have an afro?
No.
I probably think I'm an idiot.
No. That's
I'm out here for you. Hey, my name is Andrew. My relationship with black people is, as I've moved to more bigger cities, I've gotten to have more diverse people in my life. I have a diverse friend group. I also have hip hop danced. I've been on 3 different hip hop dance crews, and obviously black people are really... It's so hard not to say something I'm going to accidentally find offensive.
I'm just basing it like I think you would like white women. I don't know.
How many of these men have been in
You were really friendly to me
interracial
when I
relationships?
First walked in, you seem someone very comfortable approaching white people, so I'll say you've been in one.
The funny thing with you two, I don't know why it is, but I feel like one of you has, one of you hasn't.
I'm gonna go with you.
You're smiling big right now. You like white people. You've been in one.
I'll say this. My 2 favorite relationships I've been in, one was with a white woman and one was with a black woman. So, you know, W diversity, man. W diversity.
I feel like you like white women.
That's correct.
So I'm gonna say no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, yes, no, yes, no.
Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes.
Yes, 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 and yes.
If you are or have been in an interracial relationship, please step forward and tell your story in 3, 2, 1.
I knew for a fact that all of them were going to step up. I should have said that. Like, I was about to say it, like, all of them were going to step up. I was about to say, I was so close.
Those marriage statistics, y'all missed that.
No, I'll take it.
Oh wow, okay. I love that.
So, I mean, environmentally speaking wise, I went to like a predominantly white school. So statistically,
I don't
like
need to hear
I was more
everybody's
likely to date someone who was white than.
To like have to venture out or find themselves venturing out for that community.
How many of these men have been in international relationships?
According to the US Census, 46% of black children are living only with their mother, compared to 17% of white children. Out of this sample size, how many do you think grew up in a house with both parents?
Man, this is hard.
I'm going to guess most of them. I'm guessing only 2 of them. 2 of them grew up with both parent households, because I grew up with mostly my mother, but my mother's not black. But I grew up with mostly my mother. So 2 grew up.
It's kind of
with
hard to
both
point to
parents.
someone and say, "Hey, I think your father wasn't around." Like that's a pretty rough thing to do.
I'm guessing 2. I'm guessing 2. Come on, let's lock in.
Like sort of in and out. Like he was there. He lived in a different city most of my life. So
Style of it.
If you grew up in a house with both parents, please step forward in 3, 2, 1.
you almost got it.
Yeah.
Yo, am I racist? Just flip them. 2 of them actually grew up with not both parents. Most of them grew up with. Nah, this is an unfair ratio. I don't believe in this ratio.
That makes me feel a little better.
I grew with my mom my whole life. My dad was like sort of in and out. Like he was there. He lived in a different city most of my life. So he left when I was like 3.
Culturally speaking, coming from Africa, divorce isn't really a thing. Like I don't think we've even I don't know anyone in my life.
It's frowned
like,
upon.
You don't divorce. So the idea of like not being there for your family is just incomprehensible.
Me myself, I'm a father. I'm in the military, so my son lives in Texas while I live in San Diego. Me and his mom broke up before I joined the Navy, but I'm there as much as I can be, and I'm actually in a custody battle to get my son. But I know there's outside perceptions like, oh.
Has any of this surprised you? Maybe you should try thinking about other people's perspectives.
Learn where other people are coming from. W.
In
Adry.
2001, the Sentencing Project estimated that 1 in 3 Black men would spend time in prison. By 2021, 1 in 55 Black men were incarcerated. Oh, can you reflect on what you know about the relationship between the Black community and the police?
Oh, the police. I don't, just in general, the police, I already know, like, they're racist, they're pigs. Like, it takes there's one bad cop, but those good cops aren't going to do anything about it, so.
Yo, people, every topic is like some politically charged topic for people. Fuck the police, man. Of course, hey, man. Of course, it will look like him. Simple as that.
Makes them all equally bad.
Out of this group, how many people do you think have been arrested?
Whoa. I don't know that many people that have been arrested. One thing I can go off of is maybe like
I can say with 100% certainty, then I have never gotten arrested.
stereotypes. What I feel like maybe is, and this is not a reflection on y'all, but more a reflection on kind of the American culture and policemen in general. I would guess Americans haven't always been great about dreadlocks and like treating that as like, you know, I think those get judged more. So I could see if you have dreadlocks, that might make you more likely to like be targeted by the police. I think it's maybe going to be.
It's interesting to see all these white people. Are they? And I think they're all white. All these white people's perspective, man. It comes from such a flawed place to an extent. Like all these narratives that are getting pushed. And I know I've been cooking the crazy Trumpies recently, but like the crazy all police are bad stuff is also just as bad, man. It's just as bad.
Like one or two of you, something like that.
Maybe I'm saying zero is super ignorant. I don't know, but
predominantly white area, and it was what my friends listened to. Most of my friends were white. Yeah, bro, every time. You're right.
So 2 people have been arrested. I would have guessed none of them, to be honest.
Man, so y'all were like actually in jail.
Well, just arrested.
Mine has an asterisk. I was at a Dave Matthews Band concert that I had no business being at. I don't even listen to Dave Matthews, but I grew up in like a predominantly white area, and it was what my friends listened to. Most of my friends were white. So we went to tailgate and drank. We did the whole like steal your mom's vodka, you fill up your water bottle, hop on a train. We went to Philly. So we were in the parking lot, and we were all drinking around our cars, me, bunch of white dudes, and there are cops sort of like making sure that people filter into the concert aren't getting too rowdy. And he like splits the crowd, goes straight for me out of all my white friends, grabs my water bottle, sniffs it, pours it out, and he writes me a ticket that counts as an arrest. It was a citation. He couldn't leave his post, so he couldn't cuff me and put me in his car. But the citation counted as an arrest.
But the first time I got arrested, I think I was 15, and I had a driver's permit, but I didn't have like a license, and so I got arrested. Cop pulled me over.
That's a very valid reason to get arrested. So, I mean, you could think the law it's a non-racist reason. That's the point. The non-racist reason to get arrested. The other one sounded a little racist. Sounded a little bit based off the story. Sounded a little bit.
They didn't think it was my car. They thought it was stolen. So that was the whole thing. It was the car my parents gave me, and then they detained me and everything. Took me to the police station.
Oh, okay. Now it's sounding a little bit more racist. Even though he still should have been he still shouldn't be driving without any supervision with a permit.
I mean, holding cell and stuff. For like normally for that you just get like cited, or they'll call your parents, so they'll pick you up. But I was like in
like fully booked.
And like in the
yeah, now it's sounding.
I've never had a negative interaction with a police officer before. I think I've always had great interactions. Most of my gym friends, buddies that I work out with are all police officers. Never had a negative invitation. I think anytime, and this is my perspective, I'm not going to put one negative interaction with one person as a blanket on everything, because I think that could be applied to any situation.
I haven't been arrested, but I am also very conscious of like my parents' like very intentional effort to like raise their children in a way that like prevents that, right? And I'm not saying this from like a positive standpoint, like these locks are a very new development. You know what I'm saying? Like it would have never happened as a kid. Like don't wear hoodies, don't wear your pants a certain way, right? So it's like by very meticulous kind of like child rearing that like contribute to not having like being arrested by the police, but even that, granted, like I've had many situations with the police. And I think that like the fact that like Black parents have to be so intentional about like of helping.
This is a great point that I definitely agree with. Like, we shouldn't have it where the culture of like growing up your kid is knowing that police are going to treat you different. That
child avoid like the penal system, right? And so like the risk is just too high to ignore or to deem as like a inconsequential thing.
I definitely understand you guys' perspective, but I also very much share that same perspective. But I think a better thing to say is like the policing system. I don't think. I personally, actually, my experiences have been pretty positive. Like I've been stopped by the police. I'm from New York. I've jumped a turnstile and police have stopped me. But I was going to school and he was like, "Oh, you're a student. Just don't do that again." They've been good cops in my life, but I think they're good people who become cops.
Yes.
And I think that's a better statement.
And I think it's important to note that in other countries, policing is like for wellness, and I think a lot of you guys' critiques is like policing is militarization here, or like advanced incarceration. Yeah. But a lot of places, police are to like keep people safe, and I think ours is like for order.
If I
I don't know about all that. But I'm not here to grill the guy. I think in maybe some smaller, more like homogeneous countries, sure, but police are supposed to are here to protect the people. And that's what matters most.
I was in that circle. They still would have been the last people that I would have ever to have gotten an arrest or an arrest record. So I think that was what was most surprising, and the lack of others who stepped up.
What percentage of Black men do you think have experienced being called the N-word by someone who's not Black?
I'd say pretty high.
I would say everyone
like 90% probably on the poll.
I would say every single person here, every single one. Oh, only 3. Oh, well, is your friends count? Like when you were younger, they never really called me it, but who's called me it? I've been called on COD for sure. On COD for sure. If you haven't on COD, then you've never played COD. Simple as that. So that's a
and say, "Oh, I can say this, but you guys can't," is weird considering we all grew up together. Like we all grew up in the same environment, and we pretty much had the same experiences. At the end of the day, we're all poor, so it was like, why quibble over this one word when there's a lot more to like quibble about.
Yeah, I would say for me, I had a friend, white friend, and we were just hanging out, and he said it, but it wasn't so much malice behind it. It was more of like, the friend type of vibe. And in that moment, I just thought to myself, okay, why is he saying it? Is he saying it to be funny, to be cool, to try to fit in? And it was just one of those things where he's like, oh, well, you said it. Why can't I say it? And in that moment, I started really thinking about, okay, the use of the word, when do we say it? Or do we even have that line of, if you say it, I can say it kind of thing? So at that point, I kind of just stopped saying it.
Same. I don't say the word at all, personally. I feel like there's really no point of using the word
around him, because it's like, I don't want to give him that power to be able to just say it so freely.
So I don't see the point of using it. You worded the question in a way to where I'm back here, but I've been called a racial slur. It just wasn't by someone not Black. Literally this morning, I was called a colorist. The C word rhymes with soon, because they saw a previous video I was on. It was a Nectar video where we were swiping on women, basically, and I swiped on a Black woman, and this person was upset that I didn't choose the one Black person that I encountered.
3 years ago, I would say, my pro debut in boxing, Rollins, South Carolina, never forget, coming out with the entrance, walking, the opponent was coming out too, and he had, "Get that out of here." That one didn't rub me off the wrong way because the guy was going to sleep regardless. I'm going to stay undefeated regardless. But afterwards, again, it doesn't bother me. In the end of the day, I went up to him. He looked at me. He was like, "Oh, good knockout, boy." I'm like, "Yeah, keep bringing them on. I'll keep knocking them out." And I kept on moving all the way back. I run into that a lot. I don't mind it. It is what it is. I'll just stay blessed, you know, and keep it pushing.
Okay.
So I'm gonna have Andrew close your eyes, put your head down, and
What? You gotta take your money.
step forward if you think Andrew, Joe, Oscar knows black men. In 3, 2, 1.
Interesting. Interesting video. It was great to hear like more nuanced perspective from different black men, of course, but yeah, pretty good video. So hope you guys enjoyed. You have a good one. Take care. Peace.